What are you giving up for Lent? It's a question we all ask each other as Lent and Ash Wednesday approach. As Catholics, we are called to fasting, the second pillar of our Lenten practices. I am Father Patrick, pastor of Holy Family Catholic Church in Orange, California. Fasting has nothing to do with hating or despising the world and its material goods. Neither is it a way of punishing ourselves. Fasting is one way in which we deepen our awareness of God. By denying ourselves food, television, social media, or other desirable things, we are saying, I do not depend on these things. It enables us to step back from our usual habits and distractions and give particular attention to God. An outward restraint can be a sign and symbol of an inner focus. This is what lies at the heart of Lent, reminding ourselves to give time to God so that God may speak to us in the silence of our heart. All major faiths encourage fasting as a spiritual discipline. The Christian faith is no exception. Jesus himself fasted in the desert as part of his preparation to meet his tempter. The early Christians observed fasts. The fathers of the early church recommended the practice also. St. Ambrose of Milan wrote, "Fasting is food for the soul, nourishment for the spirit." When Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days, he did so in order to clarify his relationship with God and the nature of his calling. To face inner temptation, he needed to explore how he stood in relation to material needs and worldly power, and to affirm that his ultimate trust was in God. Our fasting, if we are serious about it, has a particular significance in a world dominated by a culture of consumption. Today, we are all encouraged to think of ourselves as consumers or customers, as if the material things of creation had no other meaning than to be used by us. Fasting is a form of restraint in which we stand back to contemplate things as they are in themselves, as they are in relationship to God the Creator, and not just as they exist for us. Real enjoyment of the world comes from not possessing it or consuming it, but from a detached enjoyment of its goodness. Far from being a negative reaction to the material world, fasting is a positive affirmation of it. Fasting leads to thanksgiving. In fact, there is no effective act of thanksgiving, no Eucharist, without some form of self-restraint. I pray you all continue to have a blessed Lent.